Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into the world of solid-state drives, SSDs. We're looking at a recent report, the Global Solid-State Drive Market Report 2025.
Right, from cognitive market research.
Exactly. And our goal isn't just to read stats, it's to really understand what's driving this market, the tech that powers so much of our digital world.
Yeah, it's fundamental. From phones to massive data centers, SSDs are key.
So we want to cut through the data, give you the essential takeaways, market size, growth, where things are heating up globally.
And why it matters. It's more than just faster loading times, though that's part of it. It really reflects bigger trends like cloud growth, AI.
And just our massive need for data. So let's dive in. Where does the market stand right now in 2025? What's the global picture?
Okay, so for 2025, the report projects the global market size at USD 19,624.5 million, so nearly $20 billion.
19.6 billion. Okay, that's substantial. But you mentioned acceleration.
Yeah.
What's the forecast look like?
It looks, well, pretty explosive, actually. The projection is for it to reach USD 68,910.51 million by 2033.
68 billion. Wow, that's a huge jump.
It really is. That works out to a compound annual growth rate, a CAGR of 17.0% between 2025 and 2033.
17% CAGR. So we're talking more than tripling the market value in, what, 8 years?
Exactly. It's not just ticking up. It's a really fundamental shift in storage technology adoption across the board.
That growth rate really underlines how vital this tech is becoming. Okay, so where is this growth happening? Let's look at the regions. Who's leading the pack right now?
Right now, North America has the largest slice of the pie. For 2025, it's about 37% of the market.
37%. And that translates to?
About USD 7,261.07 million.
Okay. And within North America, obviously the U.S. is big, but...
Yeah, the U.S. is definitely the dominant player there. We're talking USD 5,728.98 million in 2025. And the growth drivers are pretty clear. Cloud computing, AI is huge, and just general enterprise IT infrastructure upgrades.
Makes sense. What about Canada and Mexico?
They're significant, too. Canada is looking at around USD 871 million, driven by data center investment, cybersecurity focus. Mexico, about USD 660 million, seeing boosts from gaming, digital banking, e-commerce, kind of those digital economy drivers.
Interesting. So North America leads now with about 37%. Who's number two?
That would be Europe. They hold the second spot, around 29% market share in 2025.
29%. Okay.
Which is about USD 5,691.11 million. And the projected growth there is also strong, a CAGR of about 16%.
And within Europe, I imagine Germany and the UK are pretty key.
Definitely. Germany's market is just over 1.1 billion USD. And interestingly, a big driver there is the automotive sector. Think EVs, autonomous driving tech.
Yeah, the data needs, there must be huge.
Exactly. And the UK, around 956 million USD, is seeing growth fueled by fintech, AI research, lots of digital transformation projects.
Right. And then you have Russia, Italy, France, Spain, quite a few others making up that European share.
That's right. Russia's significant. Italy, France, Spain, even smaller countries like Sweden, Denmark, Switzerland, Luxembourg contribute. And there's the rest of Europe category, too, all showing pretty healthy growth, mostly in the 15–16% CAGR range.
Okay, so North America leads, Europe is second. Now, I keep hearing about Asia Pacific being a powerhouse, not just for manufacturing, but also demand. What's the story there?
You heard right. APAC holds about 24% market share currently, so we're at USD 4.7 billion in 2025. But here's the kicker.
Yeah.
It's projected to have the highest CAGR globally. We're talking 20.0% between 2025 and 2033.
20%. That's massive growth.
It really is. And China is a huge part of that story. It's the largest manufacturing hub, yes, but also has massive internal demand from consumer electronics and huge data center expansion. China's market alone is almost 2 billion USD in 2025.
Wow. And India. I know their digital economy is booming.
India is another standout. Smaller base, around 470 million USD now. But projected CAGR is even higher, almost 22%, driven by smartphone and laptop sales, plus big government digitalization pushes.
Incredible growth potential there. And other key players in APAC, Japan, South Korea?
Yes, Japan and South Korea are major markets too, both with strong CAGRs around 18–19%.
Yeah.
Then you have Australia, Singapore, Taiwan, Southeast Asia as a region. all showing very strong growth prospects, generally in that high teens or low 20s% range for CAGR.
So APAC is definitely the region to watch for future growth leadership. What about the remaining regions? South America, Middle East, Africa, they're smaller shares now, but are they growing?
They are, and quite significantly too, actually. South America has about a 4% share, roughly USD 745 million in 2025, but its projected CAGR is 17.8%. Brazil's the main driver there, with IT infrastructure growth.
Okay, nearly 18% growth. Impressive. Middle East.
Also around 4% share, a bit higher value, maybe USD 785 million. And their CAGR is even slightly higher, 18.4%. Lots of investment in AI, fintech, data centers, especially in Saudi Arabia and the UAE. Turkey's also showing strong growth, partly due to gaming and digital transformation.
Interesting dynamics. And Africa?
Africa holds the smallest share, about 2.2%, which is around USD 431 million, but still looking at a healthy 17.3% CAGR. South Africa leads there with growth in digital banking, e-learning, cloud usage. Nigeria and the rest of Africa contribute too.
So really strong growth projected pretty much everywhere, even if the starting points are different. Fascinating. Okay, let's shift gears a bit and look inside the SSD itself. What about the interface type, SATA versus PCI-Express?
Right. So interface matters a lot for performance. Currently, SATA is still the dominant segment.
Why is that? Is it just legacy?
It's largely cost and compatibility. SATA drives are generally cheaper, and they work with, a huge range of existing motherboards in consumer PCs and laptops. It hits a good balance of performance and price for many people.
Okay, so SATA is the mainstream choice for now, but I'm guessing PCI Express is where the excitement is.
Exactly. PCI Express, often seen with the NVMe protocol, is the fastest growing segment. The reason is pure speed. It offers much higher data transfer rates.
Which is crucial for...
High-performance computing, demanding games,
Yeah.
big data analytics and data centers, AI workloads, cloud infrastructure, basically anything that needs to move a lot of data really fast.
So while SATA is dominant now, the trend is clearly towards PCIe for performance needs.
Definitely. The demand for that speed is just increasing across the board.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the underlying flash memory technology? I know there's TLC and SLC.
Right, those are the main ones mentioned here. TLC, triple-level cell, is currently the dominant technology segment.
And the reason for that is similar to SATA, cost and capacity.
Pretty much. TLC stores 3 bits of data per memory cell, which makes it denser and therefore cheaper to produce higher capacity drives.
Yeah.
It's great for consumer electronics where hitting a certain price point is key.
Got it. So TLC is the workhorse for consumer stuff. What about SLC, single-level cell?
SLC is positioned as the fastest growing technology segment. It only stores 1 bit per cell.
Which means less capacity for the same number of cells,
But much better performance, much higher endurance, meaning it can handle more write cycles before wearing out, and better reliability.
so that makes it ideal for enterprise.
Exactly. Enterprise applications, data centers.
Yeah.
Places where that top-tier speed, long lifespan, and data integrity are absolutely critical, and where the higher cost is more justifiable.
So a clear split. TLC for cost-effective capacity, SLC for demanding performance and reliability.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay. Now let's talk actual storage amounts. What capacity ranges are most popular right now?
The report highlights the 500 gigabit to 1 TB range as having the largest market share currently.
That feels right. It seems like the sweet spot for a lot of users, doesn't it? Enough space for the OS, apps, some files without breaking the bank.
Precisely. It hits that balance of storage needs and affordability for a broad range of consumers and even many businesses.
But, files aren't getting any smaller. Games, 4K video. Are we seeing a push towards higher capacity?
Oh, absolutely. The above 2 TB segment is flagged as rapidly growing.
Makes sense.
The demand is coming from everywhere. Enterprises needing vast storage, data centers, obviously, high-end gamers, content creators working with massive files. Even just the general rise of cloud storage infrastructure relies on these high-capacity drives.
And as the price per gigabyte hopefully continues to drop for those larger drives.
You could expect that above 2 TB segment to keep gaining serious traction. Yeah.
Okay. One more segmentation aspect. The application. Where are these SSDs actually going? Client versus enterprise.
Right. So the client segment currently holds the larger market share.
And client means?
Think personal computers, laptops, desktops, and also gaming consoles.
Yeah.
Basically, devices directly used by end users.
And the adoption there is driven by the obvious benefits, right? Faster boot times, quicker application loading, durability, lower power consumption compared to old hard drives.
Exactly. All those things contribute to a much better user experience, which has pushed SSDs into the mainstream for client devices.
Okay. And the other side is enterprise,
Yes, and the enterprise segment is noted as being rapidly growing.
which we've kind of touched on already with data centers and all that.
Right. It's all about performance and reliability at scale. Data centers, cloud computing providers, businesses running big data analytics, they increasingly need the speed and efficiency SSDs offer for their critical operations. Faster data access, lower latency, it all adds up.
So client is bigger now, but enterprise is catching up fast due to those high-performance needs.
That's the picture, yes.
Okay, we've covered the size, the regions, the tech breakdowns. Let's talk about the why. What are the main forces really pushing this market forward? The key drivers.
The report points to a few core things. First, just the overall increasing demand for high-performance computing. That's a broad trend impacting many sectors.
Sure.
Second, our constantly growing data storage needs. Both businesses and individuals are generating and consuming way more data than ever before.
Definitely feel that one.
And third, the specific push for SSDs in things like gaming consoles and high-end laptops, where that instant responsiveness is a major selling point.
Those all seem like powerful ongoing trends. Are there any headwinds, things holding the market back at all?
Well, the main restraint mentioned is still cost. While prices have come down a lot, SSDs generally still have a higher upfront cost per gigabyte compared to traditional hard disk drives, HDDs.
Right, especially for really large capacities, the price difference can still be significant.
Exactly. And that leads to the second point. The availability, or perhaps better put, the affordability of the very highest capacity SSDs can still be a limiting factor for certain massive scale storage needs.
So price and the top-end capacity limits are the main hurdles, but the direction of travel is clear. What about key trends shaping the future of the market?
Two big ones stand out. First is the increasing adoption of NVMe SSDs. We talked about PCI-Express, and NVMe is the protocol that really unlocks that speed potential. So NVMe is becoming the standard for performance.
Moving beyond SATA for anything performance critical.
Pretty much.
Okay.
The second major trend is the growing dominance of SSDs in data centers and cloud storage. Organizations are prioritizing the performance, the lower power consumption, the space savings. SSDs just make more sense for those environments now.
Okay, NVMe adoption and data center focus. Got it. Now, this sounds like a really dynamic space. Who are the big companies battling it out?
It's definitely competitive. The report names Samsung Electronics, Western Digital, and Seagate Technology as key leaders.
Household names in storage.
Right. And their focus is relentless innovation. They're pushing the boundaries on things like NVMe, developing more advanced 3D NAND flash memory, faster PCIe interfaces, always trying to boost performance, durability, and capacity.
And they must work closely with computer manufacturers and cloud providers.
Oh, absolutely. Collaborations with OEMs, the companies making laptops and servers, and the big cloud providers are crucial for them. Getting their drives designed into those systems is key.
The report mentioned some recent product launches too, didn't it? Specific examples.
Yeah, a few interesting ones. SanDisk apparently unveiled a super-fast PCIe 5.0 SSD earlier this year, boasting really high read-write speeds.
Pushing that speed envelope.
Exactly. Kingston Digital launched a new NVMe drive specifically designed for data centers, focusing on endurance for those heavy workloads.
Targeting that growing enterprise segment.
And Micron introduced a PCI 5.0 data center SSD focused on ultra-low latency, aimed squarely at things like AI and real-time cloud applications.
So lots of activity, lots of competition driving things forward. It's quite the picture.
It really is.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here, digging into this 2025 SSD market report. Maybe let's try and quickly summarize the main takeaways for everyone listening.
Sure. I think the headline is significant global growth. The market's set to more than triple by 2033, which is huge.
Right. Driven by that 17% CAGR.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Regionally, North America is the biggest market now, but keep your eyes on Asia Pacific. It's projected to have the fastest growth rate, around 20%.
And technically, we're seeing a shift towards faster interfaces like PCIe NVMe.
And specialized technologies like SLC for high endurance, high performance needs, especially in the enterprise space.
Which itself, the enterprise application segment, is growing rapidly alongside the still dominant client segment.
Correct. It's a market expanding on multiple fronts, driven by our insatiable need for faster, more efficient data storage.
A really dynamic picture. Okay, so to wrap up, let's leave you with a thought to mull over.
Okay.
We've talked about this incredible pace of innovation, faster speeds, growing capacities. We've also talked about cost being a factor. So the question is, How will that balance between cost, capacity, and performance continue to evolve in the next few years?
Yeah, that's the multi-billion-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. And what could that changing balance mean for all of us? For the devices we buy, the services we use, the way businesses operate? What happens when multi-terabyte super-fast SSDs become truly mainstream and affordable?
It opens up a lot of possibilities.
Definitely something interesting to consider as this technology keeps reshaping our digital world. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.